Hello. Today we are going to talk about action versus overthinking. Strategies to overcome decision paralysis and start taking decisive action. Many times we think about taking action so much, at that moment it feels like we are taking action. But at the end of the day, if you see, you haven't done anything, you haven't made any progress, there is no action. Just overthinking about taking action and analysis paralysis, right? Listen to this story. Person S is a budding entrepreneur. She wants to start her own line of business. And for months, she's doing research on market trends, she's thinking about the idea and gathering information. But she finds herself constantly overthinking and not able to take a concrete decision on which idea to pursue for her business. Person J wants to change his career for years now. He's not satisfied in his current career and he wants to explore new opportunities. He goes on Google, he searches, he thinks, okay, I can do this, I can do that. But because of analysis paralysis, he's not able to take a decision and make the move. He has not done anything for years other than just searching or thinking. He has not taken any actual action. This person S or J could be you, stuck in analysis paralysis, which is blocking you from taking a decision, taking the actual action, and making the real progress. Today's episode is all going to be about understanding this analysis paralysis and strategies to overcome it and take action. As you have understood from the stories, analysis paralysis means that state of being stuck in constant overthinking about taking a decision, this or that. That confusion which stops you from taking a proper decision and taking actual action on it. It's not very difficult to understand that taking a proper decision and taking actual action on it makes real progress than just keeping on overthinking about it, being very confused about what actually you should do. And this analysis paralysis definitely hinders our progress towards our goals, right? In today's fast paced world, we are constantly bombarded with information and choices. This amplifies our tendency to overanalyze every decision we make. We have the pressure on us to make that perfect decision. And also, the fear of making a mistake in our decision can keep us trapped in this constant state of indecision. But here is the truth: indecision is a decision in itself. It often leads to missed opportunities and also unfulfilled potential. So, it is very, very important to take a decisive action on our goals to reach that goal, to achieve that success. In this episode, we are going to explore practical strategies and insights rooted in science, psychology, and neuroscience to help you break free from this analysis paralysis. By the end of this episode, you will have toolkit of strategies to make confident decisions and take powerful action. So grab your notebook and pen, take notes along the way, and apply it right away. Let's start. I have divided this episode into three parts. In the first part, we are going to understand analysis paralysis, what triggers it, and what cognitive biases can lead to analysis paralysis. In the second part, we'll see how our brain behaves during analysis paralysis. How can emotions influence our decision making abilities? And in the third part, we'll see strategies to overcome this analysis paralysis. Okay, let's dive into the first part. So, like we saw, analysis paralysis is a state where you're stuck in a state of not being able to make a decision. And this mainly happens because of two reasons. One is overwhelming number of choices that you have, and the second one is the fear of making a wrong decision. And this can happen due to a couple of reasons. A lot of second guessing. If you're doing a lot of second guessing, this happens. And if you are excessively analyzing everything, overthinking everything, then it leads to analysis paralysis. And also, if you are failing to make progress in something, that can lead to analysis paralysis as well. What are some of the bad effects of analysis paralysis? This can lead to anxiety, stress, and a lot of frustration. Also, the constant rumination about one thing and the inability to make progress can reduce your self esteem and self confidence. This also has some cognitive bad effects. That is, constantly overthinking and overanalyzing everything can put a lot of load on your cognitive ability. It can consume a lot of your mental energy and exhaust you mentally. If we see the evolutionary basis of this analysis paralysis, let me tell you, where does it come from? So our ancestors, when they were living in caves, when they were living in the midst of a lot of dangers around them, they had to weigh their possibilities, weigh their options very carefully for survival. So that is the reason we have this analysis paralysis concept. But today's complex world that doesn't help us. And also one more thing, the fear response in our brain, which is working to protect us from danger, can also lead to analysis paralysis. Oh, what if I make this wrong decision? Our brain perceives it as a danger to our survival. When we have to make a decision that could have some risks or uncertainty, our brain's amygdala is activated and it triggers a fear response. And this fear of making a wrong decision can again lead to analysis paralysis. This fear of making a wrong decision is deeply rooted in our psychology. There are a couple of cognitive biases which can lead to this fear of making a wrong decision. Let's see three of them. Okay, the first one is loss aversion. Loss aversion means humans have a natural tendency to avoid losses more strongly than seeking gains. For example, imagine I'm living in caves in thousands of years ago, and there are two things in front of me. There is a lion that is waiting to attack me, and there is an apple that can feed me, and that will help me to survive. Okay, naturally humans have this tendency to avoid the losses, so I need to first run from this lion to save myself. So I am never going to think about that apple. Just like that, when we have to make a decision which has uncertainty in it, our brain shows us the potential dangers, the potential losses, rather than the potential benefits. Due to this, we always fear making wrong decisions. The second concept is called cognitive biases. There is something called confirmation bias. What it does is it makes us seek information that confirms our already existing beliefs and preferences. Let's say I have three ideas for my business. So my fear to make one of the decisions is, what if I lose in this business? Okay. This confirmation bias, what it does is it makes me seek information to confirm this fear of mine. So it could tell me, if you take this decision, you will have to spend more. Then you will run out of your money. You will run out of your funds. Nobody is going to buy this because there is no market trend to this. So it will make me look for confirmations of what I already believe. That is, okay, I'm going to lose in this business. That is confirmation bias. Okay. There is another bias called the status quo bias. And this bias, what it makes us is, what it tells us is, stay in the present situation, no matter whether it's beneficial for you or not, but you need to stay in the present situation, because basically it makes us afraid of change. It tells us if you change, there could be some negative outcomes. So these two biases make us fearful to take that decision, and that leads to analysis paralysis. And the third factor that contributes to analysis paralysis, which I have seen in so many people, is perfectionism. When we want everything to be perfect, we are so afraid of that flaws, little mistakes that we could make along the way. We want everything perfectly, so we are not able to take that decision, fearing that, oh, what if it is not perfect? What if it has flaws? I hope you have understood how this analysis paralysis stems from fear of making a wrong decision and over analyzing everything and overthinking, and I hope you have understood how it wastes your mental energy and puts a lot of load on your mental abilities. In the second part, we are going to see how your brain behaves during the analysis paralysis, the neuroscience of it. Here, I want to explain three things that are involved in this process very briefly. One is our prefrontal cortex. If you know, our brain has different parts. So, prefrontal cortex is at the front of your brain, and it is responsible for making decision, rational analysis, and a lot of other things. The second is amygdala. It is also one of the tiny parts of your brain which is responsible for your fear. So when you have fear, this part, amygdala, is overstimulated, it is activated. And the third factor is your dopamine. Dopamine is a chemical which is released when you have that pleasure, or when you have that satisfaction. Dopamine is released. Okay, with this basic information, let me tell you what happens when we are doing when we are overthinking about any decision. We are over analyzing everything. The prefrontal cortex becomes overly stimulated. The constant rumination about one thing, right? You're thinking whether this or that, the same thing, you're ruminating on it. Your prefrontal cortex becomes overstimulated, and that will stop you from taking one concrete decision. The second thing that happens is overactivation of amygdala. When your amygdala is activated, you are afraid. You have that fear of unknown, fear of uncertainty. So when that is activated, you definitely won't take the decision. So, like I gave you the example, there is a lion in front of me and there is an apple in front of me. My brain is activated, my amygdala is activated from the fear of survival, the fear of death, that, oh, this lion is going to eat me up. So, I will never think about picking that apple. I will just focus on running away and saving myself. Fast forward future now, when you have to make that decision, when your full focus is on the fear of making a wrong decision, you are never going to able to think clearly what you should do, because your fear response is overactive. I hope this is making sense. And also, we talked about dopamine, which is a chemical associated with your motivation and reward. When you're in that analysis paralysis state, when you're constantly overthinking about it, it is said that your dopamine levels may fluctuate, which will lead to a demotivated state, and it leads to lack of decisiveness and action. Now we come to the third part, that is strategies. How to overcome analysis paralysis, take that concrete decision, one decision, and act on it. There are a couple of pointers I want to mention. I think you would like to take notes here so that you can apply them later. First thing, set clear goals. From a cognitive neuroscience perspective, setting clear goals will activate your prefrontal cortex, which is associated with your goal directed behaviors. So don't get confused here. Earlier when we were talking about what happens to your brain, that was overactivation of your prefrontal cortex. So when your prefrontal cortex is overactivated, it gives you get a lot of cognitive load on your brain, which will make the decision process difficult. But when you set clear goals, when you write them down, this area is activated and it will enhance your focus and decision making abilities. And next thing is to break down all your tasks into small chunks, manageable chunks. This will help you reduce the cognitive load to your prefrontal cortex. And also, when you accomplish that small task, right, your brain is feeling that reward, and that will release dopamine. That will motivate you more. And the next step is to set decision making boundaries. What is this? There's a concept called bounded rationality, which says we humans have limited cognitive abilities and information processing abilities. Okay. There are a couple of ways you can set these decision making boundaries. How can we do this? There are a couple of ways. By defining your decision making criteria, we'll go into depth. What is it? And second thing, setting a time boundary for your decision making, and also by limiting the options. We'll see what these are. First, you need to define your decision making criteria. That means you can start by identifying the key factors, important factors for your decision. These factors should align with your values, your goals, and other things. For example, if you want to change your career, before if you want to change your career and you need to make a decision on what else you want to do, you need to consider your values. What do you love? You need to consider other factors like what exactly do you want work life balance, consider the factor of salary or your working hours, your working place. So you need to make a list of these criteria which are very important for your decision. Once you have done that, you need to prioritize your criteria. You need to rank these factors in the order of their importance. So, for example, if the salary and working hours are very important to you, those two become the first priorities. What happens is when you're making the decision, you are only focusing on these most important criteria instead of focusing on everything. That will reduce the cognitive load on your mind. And the next thing you should do is to limit your options. Like we saw these days, there are a lot of information available to us and there are multiple options. So you need to limit the options based on your important factors. And the last thing you should do is to set time constraint. What happens sometimes, we don't have a set time to do any to take any decision, right? If I need to start my business, there is no one sitting next to me pushing me to make that decision in a day or 2 days. There is no boss who is pushing me to do it fast. So that also leads to procrastination, analysis paralysis, not taking a particular decision. So you need to give yourself that deadline. When will you finish taking this decision? If you give yourself a deadline of 1 week, that will help you speed up your process, speed up your research, and you will only stick to limited options. And then you'll be able to take that concrete decision and move forward and make a real progress. These are some of the strategies. Like I said, list your criteria, rank them in the order of their importance, give yourself a deadline to make that decision, and limit your number of options based on your criteria. I hope you got a clear idea about why analysis paralysis happens and how you can overcome them. There is one last thing I want to tell you, that is, we many times feel, what if I take the wrong decision? But actually, there is no right or wrong decision. You take a decision and you move on with it. If it turns out to be wrong, or if it gives you any challenges, you take another decision to make that decision right. That is how it works. So take that decision and keep taking action. I hope you found a lot of value in this episode. Please share it with someone if you liked it. Follow me if you haven't already. I will see you next week, and happy makeover.